All right, so you've probably noticed I'm into real world results and I'm really blunt sometimes. You know, when you're really sharp, you can be really blunt. I love little ironies like that. So here's one of them. Ready? So I was having a chat with one of the Dream Driven Day members, and we were talking about lines in the sand because that's in one of the lessons. And you know, there was a day where I woke up and I decided I'm not going to be that fucking guy. I could see where I was heading. And I just made up my mind, I am not going to be that guy. I drew a line in the sand. You got it? So this is the first kind of line. There's two kinds of lines. Write this down. And remember, this is a part of one of the 30 Dream Driven Day lessons. Ready? So there are two kinds of lines you draw in the sand. Number one, no. Right? I'm not having that in my life. I'm not having that in my day. You see, most people just let their days slip away thinking, yep, tomorrow's going to be different. And what they honestly expect for tomorrow is to let tomorrow slip away as well. So let's talk really practical. Ready? I don't agree to a meeting without an exit time. And that could be lunch. That could be working with a consulting client. That includes going to the dog park. I have an exit time. In other words, I'm done here. That's a state. I'm done with that. When I bought the Pearl, I noticed I got done with a lot of things. Believe me, there's so many things worth getting done with. Like karma, rocks in the sky, rocks in your pocket, tarot cards, affirmations, anything that distracts you, anything that denies the truth about you, that sets you free. You're the one cause. Right? We explored that in pearlpowerpack.com. Go read that. 21,000 emails are what inspired that and Federal Election Day in Australia. pearlpowerpack.com. Anyway, two kinds of lines. Two kinds of lines you can draw in the sand. Number one, no. You just draw a line and nothing crosses that. I'm done with that. Give you another quick example. When I moved to Australia, I decided, one, these people can't drive. Two, I hate traffic. Combine those two and it's like I'm never getting a job here. No backup plan. Right? I was always willing to take a temp job back in the States. That was always fun. I always got some awesome skills from those. And I stopped doing that about a decade before. But meanwhile, when I moved here, starting completely over, I decided I will never have a job in Australia. Right? I drew a line in the sand. That's line type number one. We call that a no. Line type number two. So one day I looked at the fat guy coming in, right? He was walking towards where I parked the car. He was coming into the parking lot, and I'm watching the fat guy, and I realized I am not going to be that guy. I did the first kind of line, no. Right? I drew a line in the sand, that's it. The thing is, a lot of people stop there, and if that's the only line you have, then it's like living in the dungeon of a castle, behind a wall, behind the moat. No. On the other hand, the second kind of line in the sand that we explore in Dream Driven Day, we're opening the doors on the 4th of July, for some reason. The second kind of line, again, this is one part of one lesson. I want you to get the gold here, is direction. It's an arrow. Let that sink in. The first kind of line is no. The second kind of line is an arrow. Now here's where it is. A lot of people think it's an arrow about where you're going. It's not an arrow about where you're going. It's an arrow pointing back to where you were. Let that sink in. Did you make the mistake that most people make? It's not an arrow about where you're going. It's an arrow pointing back to where you were. When I point back to where I was 10 years ago, the arrow goes, back and down. I make more money. I have more impact. I'm healthier. I'm much more alive. See, when the arrow points back to where I've been, it points, in my world, to the left and down. That's where I was. I'm in a much higher place now. I'm in a much more funner place now. You see, when I look back, literally, when I remember where I was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, okay, I am leaps and bounds higher than that. So there's two kinds of arrows you draw in the sand. One of them is about what you're saying no to. Because if you can't say no, you honestly can't say yes. Number two, the second kind of arrow is all about direction. And it points to where you came from. Because that's how you make there, here, and then, now. Literally imagining what's it like buying peanut butter, having doubled my income and working half the time, and doubled my income and working half the time again. See, I tend to hang out with people who are housewives, retired, or injured, and the occasional business owner. But most people, they're out there trading time for dollars. They don't have the time to buy peanut butter on a Monday morning. See, I do. I take my time. I talk to people. I make friends at the grocery store. I pick the peanut butter I enjoy. I don't pick the peanut butter that's made with cottonseed oil. Cottonseed oil peanut butter should be called cottonseed oil butter. Right? Peanut butter is made from this stuff called peanuts. You see, my world is very simple. Because I live my dream-driven day. Listen how simple this is. It's an endless exploration. Coral's done it 4 or 5 times so far. Anya's done it a bunch of times. Jen again's done it a bunch of times. We've got a bunch of people that have done it a bunch of times, not because it doesn't work, but because exploring your dreams, exploring the lessons in different ways with different groups of people is just fun. Because, the price of it is nothing whenever you start discovering how vast and fast you are. Whenever you start doubling up your income and working half the time, you got time to play. Now here's the cool thing. Whether or not you sign up for Dream Driven Day when the doors open on the 4th of July, here's what I want you to do. Start drawing some lines in the sand. Start with a no. No means that is not coming into my now. Right? I have an appointment. I have an exit time. Right? It's that kind of thing. What are you going to not let into your day? I promise you, if you don't let being a me too or a victim into your day, your destiny will change. Number 2, the second kind of line in the sand is a directional one. It's called an arrow. And the arrow doesn't point to where you're going. The arrow points to where you came from. In your chosen day, what's different? The arrow points backward in time. The arrow points backward to literally right now. What's the change you're imagining? Let the arrow point back to that. Experiencing the world from the state of your wish fulfilled. There, here, then, now. It's not about leaving this one behind and traveling to some parallel place and then coming back here and going, shit. What it's about is giving life to the lovely in a way that brings it into your day. If you got gold, couple thoughts. Number 1, join us in DreamDrivenDay.com. The doors open on the 4th. Early bird pricing goes on for 2 weeks, and then that's gone. The course begins August the 1st. That gives you plenty of time. But don't wait. Dive in. Because there's bonuses. There's lots of fun. And meanwhile, if you got gold today, like I said, DreamDrivenDay.com. That opens on the 4th of July. Next, by the way, if you're listening to this in August or something, it might be open then. right? I'm just talking about the one that's opening up in a few days, right? We do run it a few times a year, even though that's changing. Meanwhile, if you want to start something right now, and I strongly suggest you do, manifestingmasterycourse.com. That's the 90-day adventure, $97. Yes, you can do it while doing Dream Driven Day. No, it doesn't take more than 15 minutes a day. Can you draw a line in the sand? Right? Can you block something out for 15 minutes so that you can invest that 15 minutes? And can you imagine how many ways will your life have changed in 90 days? That's just the length of a season. If it's summer where you are, imagine autumn. How different you will be then. Move into that state and look back and congratulate yourself on making a really good decision. Join us in manifestingmasterycourse.com. All right, that's what I got. My name is Mr. 2020. This is the Neville Goddard Podcast, coming to you live from Melbourne, Australia. All rights reserved on all media. The sun is up, the birds are singing. I just love having drawn my 2 lines in the sand. All right, see ya.